Hello, everybody, and welcome to our special Microsoft E3 2021 presentation. These are our predictions, and I'm going to introduce the team. Sandy.
Hello.
Lily.
Hi.
My left and my right is the wrong way around. Luke.
Hey.
And Mike.
Hey.
And we're going to go straight into our Microsoft E3 predictions. E3 is right around the corner. Let's start off then with what's probably going to be shown. Absolutely going to be shown as Halo Infinite. Sandy, what do you think to Halo Infinite? What do you think is going to be shown, and how much do you think is going to be in development?
So after their last reveal of Halo Infinite, where people were a bit underwhelmed, I'm expecting at least a good 10-15 minutes of gameplay showcasing the same area, but completed with all their proper graphical features and everything implemented correctly. And I feel like that would be literally everything that Halo fans need to be like, because I mean, if that's what we get shown, I will hop on an Xbox next time they appear in the stores.
Yeah. Luke, obviously you've got an Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Infinite probably coming day one to Game Pass. Is there something that are you looking forward to Halo Infinite? Are you looking forward to having it for free?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having it for free. As Sandy said, when I first saw that demo, that first bit of gameplay we got, it felt really underwhelming. It looked like a 360 game. There was nothing in there that really excited me for it. But I'm sure they've worked on it. I'm sure it'll look better. We'll see a lot more of it. And you can't knock it if we get it free on Game Pass. Can't argue with that, can you?
Yeah, it's true. Mike, Microsoft are going first this time around. I mean, if you take Ubisoft out of the equation, do you think they're going to open the show with Halo, or do you think they're going to close the show with Halo?
That's a good question, because if they do open it with Halo, they're going to have some big guns in reserve to end the show, and they're definitely going to have to come out swinging this year. I feel like this year actually does feel like a year where everyone's going to maybe bring, a bit of an A game, or they have to. Everyone's got the new consoles out. This is the time to start building momentum for them, I think. Whether it starts or begins or ends with it, I think because of the underwhelming aspect of it, they have to draw back a lot of ground with it. So I kind of think strategically it'd probably be better off starting with it, because the difficulty of pulling it back might be, if that's your big bang moment and it fails, if it falls flat on its face, then that's going to be a really bad look for Microsoft. But if they come out straight out the gate with it looking good, and then they're like, and we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this, I think that's going to be a lot stronger for them.
Yeah. And Lily, so would you be playing cooperatively, or would you play multiplayer in Halo? Is that something that would interest you as a first-person shooter?
Unlikely, because I think I'd just drag anyone else down with me.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be quite an open game. I think Microsoft are definitely going to have this ready. They've obviously had Master Chief Collection remastered. They know kind of what they're doing. I think they're going to tinker some of these things. Sandy is very poised to say something.
I was just thinking, a major selling point, something that would really probably earn back fans who had dropped off with Halo 5. Show us local co-op story gameplay. That would be a deal cincher for a lot of people, I think.
Lily, when you think of Microsoft and Xbox in general, what IPs do you think of? Is Halo up there as one of those games that you think straight away when you think of the Xbox machine?
I think so. Yeah. I think that one is, what you hear quite a lot about, and I think also what people mention most when they talk about playing Xbox and such. So yeah, I think that's an important aspect of the whole franchise, and that's coming from someone who doesn't really play Xbox, isn't that much into all the Microsoft games, but you kind of hear them together like a lot.
Yeah. And actually, just going back to Sandy's point, I think what Microsoft and Sony do more than, say, let's say Nintendo, is that they do have a sort of longer piece of gameplay footage, or play through. They tend to show a trailer, then they do another 10-minute thing of walking through, kind of like how the State of Play did with Horizon Forbidden West the other week, where they sort of take that through. So you're right, Sandy. They might just do a sort of gameplay reveal, then they might do a sort of story walkthrough. Reveal trailer. Okay, so we all know that Halo Infinite's going to be there. It's got to have a better showing. It's got to have a better performance. It's got to have everything better. And they have obviously kept it in the oven a bit longer. It was meant to be more of a release thing. Just by a show of hands, who thinks this is coming out this year?
I think it has to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe Christmas time.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's very interesting. It'd be interesting to see if Microsoft sort of put a date on it, a firm date. I think they have said it. They're aiming for this year, but obviously anything can happen, and the way that things have been happening over the last year of development for games could change. Okay, then, so let's move on to another Microsoft exclusive, Forza Horizon 5, or just another Forza game. Luke, you're into your motorsport, I'm assuming. What do you reckon for Forza Horizon? What do you think its chances are?
I know we're getting a new Forza Motorsport, which is great. It was one of the titles I got when I first picked up my Xbox One. I think it came with Forza. Great game. But Forza Horizon is what I'm hoping for. That it's got that more arcadey feel. It's a lot more accessible, I think. I have a lot more fun with Forza Horizon than I do Motorsport. I'm not a great driver, and I feel like it's a lot more lenient on my skills.
When you say not a great driver, do you mean in a game or?
I've seen Luke parallel park.
Yeah.
for about an hour in real life.
All that parallel parking in Forza.
I'm okay going places, but getting to that place and then having to stop is an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you don't have to park in either Forza game, so it's fine.
Yeah. Mike, are you a Forza fan? Have you played Forza?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've only played Horizon 4 since having PC Game Pass, but that's generally been my sort of go back to game. If you just want to play for 10 minutes to an hour and stuff like that, it's just a great, like Luke said, accessible game. Loads of fun, loads of variety in it, loads of cars and stuff. So yeah, it's a great.
Loads of cars.
It's just yeah.
Well, the one thing about the Forza series, and I'll come to you on this, Sandy, is the location. Now, we've seen the UK in more recent Forza
most games. Of the UK.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to change up the location and we're going to see a different area put forward?
So, I think Horizon 3 was tropical. It might have been based on a real place. I can't really remember. And then obviously Horizon 4 was UK. Sorry, looking Mike. It was Scotland, England.
There was a quarry. There was one quarry in it, which I think was meant to be us.
I mean, it had Edinburgh. I was sorted. I will return to that game all the time.
Why don't I feel like there was in Australia?
Maybe that's what 3 was.
It was definitely sunny.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting if they took it out into Asia somewhere. Maybe go through Japan or China or India, something that's maybe not been represented that often. That'd be interesting to see.
Lily, where would you like to see a racing game go to? Where do you think would be a really good sort of one-off country location to do some races?
Antarctica.
Okay. I mean, there'll be a lot of ice levels, I guess, but there's...
Yeah.
Skidding all over the place.
Oh, no, it would be interesting.
Yeah. No, I think Forza would be a great addition. Do you think it's coming out this year, if there is a Forza coming out this year?
I think Motorsport is coming out this year, but we might get a tease for Horizon, I think.
Okay, well then let's move on to our next game. We're going to have to fly through these a lot quicker, I think. But Perfect Dark. Now, Perfect Dark just been taken over. Is it The Initiative that's doing this one? I think this is going to be shown quite heavily. People are looking for it. We had a sort of reveal trailer for, I think, could you have both Halo and Perfect Dark this sort of winter? Is that possible? Sandy, you're nodding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a conflict in their interests, to be honest. Like, Perfect Dark has a bit of sci-fi, but it's a lot more grounded than Halo is, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like there's space for both.
Lily, did you ever play the N64 original, Perfect Dark, at all?
To be honest, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Bum.
Yes. Then Mike, obviously big fan of Perfect Dark, I'm assuming. Did you play Perfect Dark Zero on the Xbox 360?
I didn't play Zero. No, I never played that. But obviously, I don't think it had the best of reception. Is that fair to say that that's sort of the overriding opinion on that game?
It was a launch game. It was a game that had been delayed from the original Xbox. In fact, I think it was originally been developed for the GameCube. But then shifted over to 360. I think people didn't necessarily like the waypoint finding arrows. It felt like a driving game.
I just remember thinking the graphics just looked a bit like the art direction wasn't quite. Never felt quite Perfect Dark to me anyway, based on N64 version.
Yeah.
Which obviously I did play, and I loved that game to death. Played it to death. So I'm really looking forward to the franchise coming back, and I like. That it's a signal that Microsoft's taking its IP seriously and trying to using them to differentiate itself from the competition. And I kind of like how they like people have kind of said it's a bit pretentious, saying like this initiative is like AAA. What do they call themselves? A quadruple A studio. But I kind of like that kind of pretension, because it does kind of show that they're sort of, they're what's the word? They're bringing out the big guns, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Luke, obviously, probably going to be a fan of Perfect Dark as well.
Definitely.
What do you think the likelihood that the multiplayer is going to be really on point for this? I remember the death matches in the 64 original being the go-to point here. Do you think they're going to go more narrative driven, or do you think they're going to go multiplayer?
I think it's going to be more narrative based, because there's been that much time since the N64 that the people that they're trying to capture, I think, are not going to be thinking about how great that used to be, but it has to be done well. But I do see it being the tagged on feature, not the main reason to pick it up. But if it's done right, it's going to last for a long time as well in that, and they can keep bringing stuff out on the multiplayer, then just keep milking it for it.
And do you think, Sandy, do you think this is a system seller? Do you think people are going to go out there and think, I want Perfect Dark?
I think if this pitch is as good as we want it to be, it will definitely shift a few systems, given that the N64 is so beloved, like that version of the original.
Yeah.
It definitely would for me.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have an Xbox, I probably would buy an Xbox to play Perfect Dark. I'm fairly certain the only reason I got a 360 was to get Perfect Dark. So yeah, that'd be very interesting. But there's probably another big system seller that has already been announced. Fable. Were you likely to see Fable, Luke? This is obviously a long time in the making. What do you reckon?
Yeah, like Mike said earlier, this is the time to bring out the big guns. This is the time to really show what you've got. And we've had such a little small snippet of Fable. And I saw that Fable trailer. I didn't have a Series X then. I was on the fence about it. I saw that 30-second Fable FMV, and I had my Series X then at the end of the week. Like, this has got to be shown. I don't think we'll see a lot of gameplay, but we need to know that it's happening. We need to know at the very least a year is coming. I don't expect it this year, but maybe first quarter next year.
Yeah.
That I see as a system seller. I think lots of people will pick it up for that.
Anybody else? Sandy? I was going to say, anybody else got anything on Fable? I mean, just trying to run through these things here, but yeah.
He has a fable for Fable.
Fable made me buy an Xbox, made me buy a 360. I think I was hoping for one when I bought an Xbox One. So the fact that there is a new one in the works, even if it's not the original Lionhead Studios, In fact, maybe because it's not the original Lionhead Studios, a new Fable is going to be exceptional. I think even if it's not the best Fable game, it will still be one of those things where I'm like, oh, I need to have an Xbox now for this.
I think people are anticipating a new trailer. We didn't really get much of a trailer, did we? It was a reveal, it's happening, and that's it, really. So, no, that's fair. Okay, well, let's move on to Everwild, coming from Rare. Mike, obviously we're big fans of Rare here, but Mike, new IP from Rare. What do you reckon to Everwild? We're going to see it this year.
Yeah, it's intriguing. It's another one, like they do have a lot of things on the slate where they we've just had these sort of reveal trailers and we don't actually know too much about how they're going to work and what the actual game play is going to be, kind of thing. So it's another one where I feel like I still have to wait and see. But I think actually in recent years, like I'm quite what's the word, like I'm quite a proponent of like Sea of Thieves. Like I think it's quite an underrated game. Like I played that recently and it's kind of made me feel like Rare is back a little bit, you know what I mean? So I'm quite excited to see what they're going to do off the back of that as well, and this is it. So
okay, we're gonna have to keep moving on here, but unless anyone else has anything to say about about Everwild. But let's move on to Bethesda. Now, Bethesda normally have their own E3 showcase, which is huge when you think about it, that now they're going to be merged into two. Lily, are you a fan of any Bethesda IPs at all?
I don't think so. Am I, Sandy? You would know. I don't think so. No.
So Lily's a bit uninitiated when it comes to Bethesda, I think, is Doom and Elder Scrolls and
isn't
those series.
I forgot the name of the other title, but yeah, I'm mostly just watching Sandy play.
Wolfenstein?
If anything.
Fallout.
Yeah, just mostly watching Sandy play. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, Bethesda's acquisition was one of the biggest in gaming history. Earlier in the year, Microsoft are now going to, all the games that we've been talking about are going to be on Game Pass as well, which is phenomenal when you think about it. The big complication that Microsoft have got here are things like Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, which have already been sort of announced as PS5 exclusive before they wrapped up the Bethesda deal. Now, both of those got delayed as far as I'm aware. Are Microsoft going to cheekily pull them back and maybe not release them on PS5, but have them released on Xbox at the same time? Sandy?
I don't know. I can't see them doing something quite that underhanded. I feel like they might even stick with the exclusivity, to be honest. Either way, they're making money off of people buying PlayStation games that way, which is quite hilarious and unusual.
Yeah. No. Luke, have you got any sort of inkling as to what might happen to things like Starfield or Avowed? These games obviously being more recently announced. We haven't seen too much of them. Obviously, they've been talked about for years, though. So I think that Microsoft have got really potential strong showing here.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see them individually. I think we're going to get as you've put it in our notes here, I think we're going to get a Bethesda montage, maybe focusing on one game. Hopefully, Elder Scrolls. Like that would be the one to lead with, I think. But more likely, I reckon, because they just haven't got that ready yet. I think probably some Deathloop gameplay, maybe a little walkthrough of that, and then just a little bit of a montage, end it on Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, well then let's go into some of the things that have been rumoured, that have not been announced. It's just people's pure rumour and speculation. I'm going to come to you, Sandy. What do you think could be announced that we haven't talked about already?
So I don't know if it's so much a could as I would really like them to. I'd like Rare to be asked to do something with one of their older IPs like Conker, to just sort of resurrect something older and go, here's a new game in this series. Because it's only on Xbox, it makes sense for them to resurrect something people would be like, whoa, I'm going to hop on that one. And Conker has been, underground for years. So it'd be nice to have something with his face that isn't just a light touch game builder like they had before.
Yeah, Project Spark.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a few years old now as well. It's a fair few old. I never got around to playing Project Spark, but I think the fact that they haven't got Live and Reloaded on Xbox as well is a bit strange to me. I've been playing through the original Conker's Bad Fur Day on Rare Replay. I think it's a bit strange that they haven't done anything with that IP, really. I mean, we've seen Conker on a Game Boy game, 64, one game on Xbox, Project Spark, and then if you count Diddy Kong Racing as well. I think it would be really good. They definitely need a varied style. Every game that we've just talked about prior here is pretty much either first-person shooter or some sort of RPG or something. So I think having a platformer like Conker would be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Luke, have you got a prediction? Any sort of desirables?
I'm hoping to see the new Indiana Jones game. We've only seen a little title of that, and I've been playing through the Game Pass Games of Gold offering that we had.
Yeah.
Emperor's Tomb, I think. For such an old game, it's fantastic, and it's really got me craving a full Uncharted style Indiana Jones adventure. Yeah, Nathan Drake is just Indiana Jones without a hat. So let's get a proper indie game with no Crystal Skull nonsense. We want grails, arcs, whipping a gun. Amazing. That's what I'm hoping to see more of that.
Sure. And Lily, is there anything on Xbox that whether them or a third party could announce that would make you think, man, I really need to play really need to play this on Xbox? Is there an RPG that could be announced or something?
No,
Nothing.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, and just have a bit of a beef with
What about
Microsoft
Persona?
in general.
Persona exclusive.
Yeah, let's go it over. Let's.
So, but what I
No.
what I
Just
am
no.
wondering, what I am wondering about is whether they are going to announce anything into the direction of VR, because I feel like they've been a bit quiet on that front in general.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there has been some secret planning and stuff going on. Maybe we hear more about that, because it would really surprise me if they didn't jump on the whole VR train at all. That doesn't seem likely. But
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I think they tried something with Kinect and it didn't work for them, and I think they probably took quite a bit of a loss on Kinect, and it ended up being an issue. I don't know how profitable PlayStation VR is for PlayStation. Probably quite profitable given the price of it, but they did say a sizable number of units have been sold. I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see what Microsoft do with the VR perspective. They seem to be going more down putting things on mobile and playing it cloud-based and stuff. Whether they're still investing ideas and technology into VR would be phenomenal. And then, Mike, we'll close with you. Do you have any predictions for any potential Microsoft games coming up?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what else. If I've heard in other rooms, I do think the VR thing's very interesting. 'Cause it made me think of Hololens as well, and what's happening with that. And could they potentially do like some kind of HoloLens Lite, to work with Xbox? Like that would be cool as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think I'm just interested to see I'm hoping we'll start to see all of their acquisitions. We start to get a sort of idea of the fruit they're going to bear.
Yeah, no, I agree. They've obviously gone in very heavy buying in a bunch of studios, so they've got to start delivering. Okay then, well everybody, Sunday the 13th of June at 8 p.m. UK time. That's 1 p.m. East Coast, and it kicks off the show at 10 a.m. in the US on the 13th of June, Sunday 13th of June. That's when the Xbox and Bethesda showcase is going live. This has been Cube 3 and this has been our predictions. But for now, guys, that's everything.